welcome back guys to another beer review. Now what we got coming up now is a local brewery to me, pretty local anyway. It's about 25 mile away from me, just outside of Shrewsbury, in a little place called Hadnall, and it's from Salopian brewery, and this is part of their black label range, and this is a can of their Automaton coming in at 7% in a 440ml can. This was about the £4 mark. I think it's $3.95, so £4, yeah, near enough. So yeah, it's an American IPA, hopped lavishly with Citra. I had to put my teeth in then, trying to get the words out. So there we go. Their black label range is literally a black label with that pretty much basic design, but I've been quite impressed with generally with most of their beers, and the father-in-law had a couple of them the other day actually, and I think he really enjoyed them, especially the Cashmere. So if you haven't seen my review of the Cashmere, go and check it out. It's an absolute belting beer, lovely beer. So yeah, so there we go. There's the artwork, 7%, 440ml can. Told you all the price, told you they're local. Obviously I had to get a Salopian glass to go with this one, although my only gripe with this is that 440ml can, 2/3 of a pint. When they've got all the sediment in the bottom, you want a bigger glass. So Salopian, please bring one of these beautiful glasses out in, say, 500ml. So there's room for a head and everything. Just a suggestion, you know, if you're listening, watch it. Doubt it, but if you are, you know, feel free to pass it on. Anyway, let's get the fucking beer out in it, hey? Talking shit, boring you all senseless. Oh dear. Do love this glass. It's a beautiful glass, isn't it? And it pours lovely. It generates a look at the head on that. You know, I can't get, there's still some in there, so I ain't going to get much more in there. I'll leave a gap just so we can give it a swirl, get some aromas. Hazy sort of lemon colour for me. It might look a bit more amber in the camera. Finger and a half of quite compact white head. Gentle, pretty well. I say gentle. There's quite a bit of carbonation rising up that glass. So we'll give it a swirl. See what we get on the nose. Really, for me, it's very sort of typical sort of tropical notes, really. A little bit hoppy, quite, yeah, just sort of a little bit hoppy, tropical. There's probably going to be a bit more in there, I reckon. Once I get the rest in, that's going to be even easier. I mean, it smells all right. Smells of all the usual suspects that you expect. Yeah, just a nice gentle tropical sort of thing, nothing too overpowering, and gentle hoppiness. Like I said, let's get on with the thing. So cheers everybody. Oh. Ooh, interesting. Let's go in again. Well, actually, I'm going to try and give this a swirl, give the can a swirl. See if we can get a bit more in. Just about held it. Again, there is still some in there. There isn't much, so hopefully I've managed to get a bit more of the sort of sediment sort of stuff in there, the floaty bits in there. Is that a bit hazier? It's maybe a little bit hazier. Again, the carbonation's the same, the head's the same, so go in again, second go. Quite a nice body, not particularly big, heavy body, but nice. Carbonation's nice, which gives it a nice mouthfeel. Quite smooth as well, quite smooth. Bitterness from the start, pretty much kicks in instantly. Citrusy bitterness. Bitterness is still sort of there, and right on the back end, you're still getting it at the back. Flavour wise, citrus, obviously, very sort of orange sort of citrus. I wouldn't say, for me, you're not really, normally you get a lot of sort of like grapefruit, that sort of thing in there for me. But this has got, tasted a bit of grapefruit then. Could be from the previous beer review, but very citrusy, as in orange citrus, like I said, a bit orange sort of bitterness to it. Not too harsh bitterness. A little bit of, for me, you're getting the hops as well. I was wondering if I was just picking a bit of maltiness up in there, but for me it's all sort of citra. Citrus, the citra hop obviously is giving it all that. A nice gentle bitterness with almost a sweetness in that bitterness, but not, you know, when I say sweetness, it's not saying you're going to go, oh, that is sweet. But there's something in there that just takes that edge off it for me. 7%, are you getting it? You're not getting it for me. You're not getting 7%. I mean, if you'd had a few beers before this, I really don't think you'd notice. You don't really sort of get a booziness to it, but you can feel it's got a little bit more. It's hard to describe. It sort of maybe feels 7% maybe, but doesn't necessarily taste 7%. But it's really nice. American IPA. If I'm correct, it should be a little bit of maltiness in there, maybe a bit piney as well. Yeah, maybe, you know, it's very easy to say tropical sort of citrus things, but a lot of that stuff in the tropical sort of notes, you get a bit of pine in there, which I'd probably say you're getting in there. And getting the rest in there, you may be getting an inkling of pine as well in the taste, but it's really nice actually. I've sort of had to think about it to maybe pick the flavours out a bit more, but that could just be me. But yeah, that is nice. I always thought an American IPA was maybe a bit more bitter, a bit more punchy in your face with bitterness. Maybe they are. I've had some that have been like real sort of bitter in there, and some that have been, they seem to be lately, the American sort of IPAs, pale ales, the bitterness seems to be toned down a little bit on them, and I don't know if that's, or whether the real strong bitter ones I'd had were just too much, or whether they've toned it down a bit. But this for me is a lovely beer, and at 7%, I'll tell you what, it's well worth the money, and well worth trying one. I think most people who like an American IPA will like that. So yeah, thumbs up for me. Automation from Salopian Brewery. If you've had it before, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the video. I won't bore you too long. So thanks for watching again, and I'll see you again on another beer review very soon. Cheers.